I'm just calling to say I...
What's up, guys? Rage Quitting here, back with another video for you, and today we're going to talk about different 3v3 builds for Demon Hunter for the arena. As you may or may not know, they just recently nerfed the Essence Break build, which is, let me go ahead and show it to you right here. So the Essence Break build was nerfed a little bit. They nerfed the damage from Essence Break, and this is the build that I was using for that. If you guys want to copy this and use it, I'm going to put a link in the description down below, and if you didn't see the Essence Break rotation guide, I'll leave a link to that as well in the description. But recently they just nerfed this build just because they nerfed the damage of Essence Break a little bit. I mean, it still hits really hard and you can still set up some really nice damage with it. But if you guys didn't want to play the Essence Break build, I have a couple more builds that you guys can try out. And yesterday I started playing threes with my team, and we went like 24 and 14 or something overall in one session. We got to around 1600 and then called it a day. Every single team that we're queuing into, like, it's pretty sweaty right now at the start of the season. Every time we lost or even won against a certain team, we would look up their rating, and they were all 2600 and up teams that we were facing for the most part. Some 3K teams, some rank 1 players. So I tried different builds during this session just to kind of see what was working, what wasn't working, and I'm going to share that information with you today. So if you guys like videos like this, please make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll get going with these different builds that I was trying. So once again, like I said, this is the Essence Break build. What I found in a lot of these matches is sometimes it was not easy to set up. Like, the good players know what Sigil of Misery is, and so when they see that, it kind of gives them a heads up. You know, when you use the Sigil of Misery, it kind of gives them a heads up when your big damage is coming, and so they'll anticipate that and react to it. So once the sigil ends, I go ahead and try to do an eyebeam. It either gets kicked or they'll save cooldowns for the hunt that comes in right after that to try and stop, you know, the hunt damage with the sigil damage plus the momentum damage, you know what I mean? Especially after you Essence Break too. When you hit an Essence Break into the hunt and then into your Death Sweep, you know, some teams are kind of looking for that, and they kind of know how to counter it. This is one of the builds I tried, and then also my favorite build that I posted a guide for. I'll also leave that in the description down below if you want to check out this build that I made a guide for, which is the Eyebeam Cycle of Hatred build with Shattered Destiny. So this build focuses more on the uptime of Metamorphosis and cooldown of Eyebeam. And basically, just talking about this build a little bit, you notice on the left side, on the Demon Hunter side, I'm no longer running sigils, and that's only because I play with a Warlock and an Evoker for yesterday's session. So the Evoker healer, you know, their sleep is on Fear DR, Warlock has Fear DR, and then Sigil of Misery is also a Fear. So all of our crowd control kind of DRs on top of each other. So I started to not even use sigils at all. So instead what I did was took the Infernal Armor buff whenever you turn on Immolation Aura, and then taking the HP here. You could, if you wanted to, remove this point here and go more into HP. You would just lose a little bit of passive healing. I don't think that'll make or break, you know, the amount of healing that you do in general. It's a small amount, and plus you're playing with a healer, right? So you could probably opt to play with more HP. And then on the right side here, there is a way to build this out to do much more damage, but you have to sacrifice netherwalk. So you see these 3 points here in netherwalk and critical chaos. If you want to do more damage with your immolation aura, especially if you're geared in mastery, because, you know, mastery increases your damage overall when you're using any means necessary. All the damage you deal is now chaos damage, and the more mastery you have will then increase all of your damage. This build is the safer build because you keep netherwalk, and especially against like RMP. Yesterday we went up against a really good arcane mage. This arcane mage was like a rank 1 mage, and they were doing RMP, and it was kind of hard to read their goes and who they were going to swap to. So if I didn't have netherwalk, it would have been a much harder game. But Anyway, so this is the safer way to build it while keeping netherwalk, but you could build for more damage by taking this away and going down the right side here for growing inferno and burning wound, and then continuing the rest of the build with fodder, and then accelerated blade, soul rend, any means necessary with cycle of hatred and shatter destiny. So it looks something like this, but keep in mind doing this means you no longer have netherwalk. So maybe it's a team by team basis, you know, whether or not you think you would need netherwalk and you want to go for more cleave damage, because this way your immolation aura will do more, especially after you throw glaive on the target and then you start burning everything down with immolation aura with your soul rend. And yeah, but yeah, like I said, this build is more focused on the metamorphosis uptime with cycle with shatter destiny, and then also getting your eye beams back faster with cycle of hatred, which will then, you know, every time you use eye beam you get another meta for 6 seconds. So this is another build that I really like. If you wanted to, you could also remove the point here in burning hatred, make it a little bit harder to manage your fury, because you're not going to get as much fury now whenever you use immolation aura. But if you wanted to sacrifice this point here to put it into crit eye beams, you could also do that as well. So you can do something like this. Okay, so this is the most damage build right here, while keeping up your meta uptime and your lower cooldown on eye beam, keeping fodder to the flame, soul rend, and now you have massive burn on your immolation aura, but you no longer have the extra fury generation, but you also have crit eye beams, and you get the haste buff when you finish eye beam generates fury, and then of course, you know, keeping isolated prey for the damage increase on eye beam. Okay, and then so this build right here is really good for damage. If you wanted to play a little bit safer, then I would take away these points here and put it into netherwalk, and then just continue down the tree in the regular fashion. But you have to go straight down this way, because this is the least amount of points spent in order to get to your accelerated blade with your soul rend with any means necessary. You can keep the sigil if you're playing with a team that doesn't have fears, or if you just make sure you're not gonna, you know, DR each other's fear crowd control at the same time, then you could go down and take the sigils. Those are the two main builds there, and like I said, I was kind of just playing around just to see what was working best, but I found that on, you know, the first day of the season, a lot of the sweaty tryhards are playing, and I needed to keep netherwalk for most of those matches. So this is the build that we went with. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't even have fodder here, so it would be like this. So this is the main build that I'm going to be playing for now. We're going to do some more testing and see what happens in the future, but I hope you guys like this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on another one. Peace.